fit together like a glove. It's a great strategic position.
Continental and United Airlines are proposing a brand new flight plan, a $3 billion merger that would create the world's largest carrier. The big question for many is, how will this impact Cleveland Hopkins International Airport and the city of Cleveland itself? Of course, we have live team coverage. News Channel 5's Tracy Carlos joins us live from Cleveland Hopkins Airport with new details on the story. Tracy, what can you tell us?
Well, Leon, you know, the major question that everybody wants to know is how Cleveland Hopkins International Airport will be affected. And right now, that remains up in the air. You know, the official announcement came this morning in Chicago, and we've heard talks about this merger for months. But now it is official. United and Continental have, in fact, merged. Now, the CEOs from both Continental and United Airlines held a joint conference this morning to detail the merger. They call it a merger of equals. The new airline will be called United, but it will have the Continental logo that so many of us are familiar with because of Continental's status as a hub here at Cleveland Hopkins Airport. Now, today, the CEOs say this is a step toward a stable foundation in an unstable and fragile industry.
The great air service that we will provide will foster jobs and economic growth. For our employees, this merger provides a stable foundation in what is an unstable and fragile industry. This will provide our employees with long-term careers, not just jobs.
And again, the question that many of those employees have here about their jobs is if they will stay or not, and it is far too early to tell for sure what will happen. Of course, this all needs the approval of antitrust regulators, and that could take some time, Leon, but you can bet we will have that part of the story covered. Reporting live at Cleveland Hopkins, Tracy Carlos, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Tracy. I know we're going to stay on this story because it has the potential for enormous impact on the city of Cleveland. The people who were speaking there from United and Continental, they made a reference to a fragile industry. Did they say anything more about perhaps this would strengthen the industry, this Continental and United merger?
Absolutely. You know, they said this was not a defensive move, that both companies are in great shape, and this shores up their spot in the airline industry, and they're sure this is the right move for both companies.
Many thanks. Tracy Carlos handling the story for us from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. We certainly hope that it strengthens the city of Cleveland one way or the other. Thank you, Tracy. Well, our live team coverage of this merger continues this day. News Channel 5's Dan Haggerty has a reaction from lawmakers. The mayor admitted that.
Well, the mayor admitted there's no real way to tell this early in the game whether or not this will necessarily be a good or bad thing for the city of Cleveland or Northeast Ohio. But Mayor Frank Jackson, Congressman Dennis Kucinich, and Senator Sherrod Brown say they're going to do everything in their power to make sure this is not a negative thing for our area. And there's nothing necessarily saying it will be. Cleveland would be the smallest of 8 hubs, but that means there's more room to grow, less congestion than larger airports like Chicago and Los Angeles. Multiple times the mayor said this is all about business. He said the airlines told him they will do what's best for their company. Mayor Jackson says he's going to do the same for Hopkins, Cleveland, and Northeast Ohio.
Today's announcement by Continental United referenced 10 hubs, and my goal is to ensure that Cleveland is one of those hubs, and also to position Cleveland Hopkins International Airport to be stronger after the merger than it is before the merger.
Continental Airlines and United Airlines are going to have to give this community assurances. And they're going to have to be in writing if they want to forestall a full-scale assault using the antitrust laws.
And keep this in mind, this is not a done deal. The merger contract must be approved by several levels of government, the Department of Justice, Department of Transportation. Congressman Kucinich says one stipulation to a merger this large is it cannot cause a negative economic impact. Then again, when Delta and Northwest merged, they left Cincinnati and closed an entire concourse. But Cleveland Hopkins definitely has some heavy hitters fighting for them both here locally and in Washington. Reporting in downtown Cleveland, Dan Haggerty, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Dan Haggerty, handling the story for us. We will have new details on the merger as they develop all day long on later editions of News Channel 5 and, of course, all day on NewsNet5.com.